London is full of great photography locations. Way too many to photograph in just one video. That's why I've set myself up with a little challenge. I can only use one underground line to get me around London and within a 5-minute walk of each underground station to get to my photography location. And today, I'm going to be using the Circle line. Now, if you're not from London, the Circle Underground line is the yellow one that you can see on this map. And it stops at 36 locations, mostly in central London. So this should be an interesting one. And I'm going to start right now. So the first station I am stopping at is Tower Hill, which is kind of the corner section you can see here on the map on the Circle line. And Tower Hill is obviously famous for Tower London, which is in front of me, but also what is hopefully going to be a fairly short walk, which is Tower Bridge across the road. Right, so we're coming up to Tower Bridge now. Now, it is obviously a very busy location, so there's always going to be a lot of people here. It doesn't matter what time you go, but what's quite nice about photographing it at night time or in the winter is it's quite well lit. So even when it is pitch black, you're still going to get a good low light performance of your camera, just because it's a very well lit bridge, which is quite a nice contrast versus the rest of London, which can sometimes be quite dark. Now, if you are photographing late at night and you don't have a tripod with you, you can always use these kind of barricades and barriers to balance your camera to get slightly better composition. So, for example, you could come up and lean on the bridge here. There we go, see how that comes through. Really nice. What I might do is slightly lower the shutter speed to get a little bit more motion drag through the shot with these buses and cars going by. What I might also do is switch over to manual focus. So we're always focusing on the bridge. I might drop this down to, let's say F16, and see if I can increase the shutter to 5 seconds, which I think I can do. So let's go for that. And then wait for this bus. And let's go for it. Might have to get my tripod out for this one, but let's have a look. Yeah, that's really nice. It's not the sharpest because this barrier actually wobbles more than I was expecting. And with that length of exposure, any movement is going to cause blur. But yeah, already I'm really happy with that shot. Right, so now let's drop back into aperture priority. Let's go switch back to automatic focus. Let's boost the ISO here. Let's have a reasonable shutter speed. Let's go for something slightly wider. There you go, so that's an 80th of a second, that's not too bad. Right, let's have a look around and see if there's any more compositions I can see. It's a really nice composition here. Might try a little bit higher. Oh, coming out really nice. I'm liking the lower down shots. See this bus going by. Have a look at those. Oh, I'm really liking them. Okay, so maybe a second might be better than longer. Let's cross the road again. Let's go back to that spot, but this time, let's try it with a tripod. I'm going to get there in time. Let's try it. See if that first one comes out. Not too bad. I don't want to be under this underpass. Let's see if we can find a spot that's a little bit quieter, or at least in between these large crowds here. The other side is way quieter, so I might actually jump over to the other side. All right, let's jump over to the other side. Yeah, this side is way quieter than the other side. So if you are a photographer, you want to photograph Tower Bridge, highly recommend coming on the left-hand side of the bridge from Tower London. There's nowhere near as many people as the other side. Definitely recommend it. Right, I'm looking here. See if that's a good spot. It's a nice one. Traffic moving a lot slower this side, so I might need, I'm actually really happy with that, but I might need a slightly longer shutter speed. But I can't rely on that barrier just because it's too wobbly. So I might take my tripod out and try it there. But I think the spot down here is a little bit better, just composition-wise. The tripod I'm using today is my travel tripod. It's my Peak Design carbon fibre. It's by far my favourite travel tripod, mostly for one reason. It is so small. Big reason I don't like bringing tripods is just they're so bulky. I don't usually mind the weight, as most photography equipment's pretty heavy. But the issue with tripods specifically is they're just so large, which is really annoying sometimes. But this one is so small. The head is a little bit fiddly. That's the only kind of disadvantage. The head is properly one of the most annoying heads on a tripod, but it's really small, as you can see, so it's not too bad. Or at least the size and weight outweighs the frustration of the ball head, which is annoying. Okay, so let's try this portrait. See, that is a really nice composition there. I'll do a quick test. So 2 seconds, f10, 100 ISO. Obviously I can do longer with the tripod, but here we go. Already, that is a way nicer composition than the other side. No people in front of us. So yeah, this side was definitely a good idea. Let's go for 5 seconds, if I can, with the light that we've got at the moment. Let's drop down to f16. We've got a bus coming up, and hopefully it moves throughout the scene. Not too bad at all. Annoyingly, if the bus moved throughout the entire shot, I would have been really happy with that. But I might wait here for one more bus, and then I might try the other side again and see if it's any less busy. This could be the shot coming up. Let's hope it is. Okay, so when's the movement? Okay, here we go. Let's go for it. Let's wait a second, actually. Let's go now. Oh no, maybe I did it too early. Did I do it too early? I might have done it too early. Is the bus going to make it all the way through the frame? No, it didn't. Oh no. All right, that didn't work. Just shows you might be in a really good spot. You might have found a really good spot, but then the timings mess you up. Right, let's go to the other side because the traffic is nowhere near as busy. Okay, so back on the busy side. Now look, there's no cars coming. That is sod's law there. Right, got a bus coming, which is great. Right, we're going for 10 seconds. So my shutter, my camera settings are 10 seconds, f22, which to be honest with you is quite dark, and then ISO 100. No one in front of me, far quieter than it was literally 5 minutes ago, which is perfect. We've got a bus here. So once the bus passes that line, there's like a line I can see coming up, I will take the photo. Here we go. In 3, 2, 1. There we go, let's have a look at that. Oh yeah, really happy with that. Looks like there was a little bit of movement in the bridge, but to be honest with you, it's a bridge, so it's always going to have a little bit of shake. So that is my first spot of the day. That's Tower Hill Underground Station, and a 5-minute walk, you get to Tower Bridge. Let's go to location number 2. Right, so the next stop, let's have a look, let's go through. We're going to head to westbound. I'm going to head to Monument. So that is platform 2. Now, Monument, you've obviously got the really big Fire of London monument there, which is what this station's named after. But we've got a nice busy road here with quite tall buildings. So let's see if we can utilise that instead of the kind of classic shot of the monument, as it were. So I think I want to be over there. So my idea for this, some of these islands might work, is you've got what London's called the walkie-talkie building. This could be a really nice composition. I have to think about it, because it's a really busy road. We cross here. Yeah, there we go. We've got this nice large section here. I'm thinking. So that is a really nice composition, focusing on the underground as the main focal point, the underground sign. But the rest of the image is pretty dark. So let's increase the shutter speed. Let's go 5 seconds. And then let's bring up the aperture slightly. Not too much, let's go for f8. Let's just do a trial photo. Now again, with a long exposure like this, you probably want buses or cars to pass through the frame. I think they're going to be big enough. Yeah, this shot might work. I might let's bring down the aperture now to f10. So I think that image was, let's have a look back again. Yeah, that image was a bit bright. Let's have a look when this car goes through. See if that's roughly the speed we need, which I think it is. 5 seconds might actually be a bit too long. All right, I'm really happy with that. I didn't even have to go far for this one. It's part of the underground station. Let's try here. Got that bus going through there. See if that comes out well. So we'll look. I think we need a bus going this way. Yeah, you can't really see that bus. So we need a bus turning left, going around this sign here. Let's wait a few minutes before that happens. Here's a bus. Will this work? Here we go. That is exactly what I was after. Oh, and look at that one, another bus coming at the same time. Oh, I am so happy with that shot. Really, really happy. I didn't even have to travel that far. Literally, this is the underground spot here for Monument. Really happy with that. Let's brighten the aperture slightly. Let's go for f10. Here we go, here's a bus. That's an old style bus as well. Look at that. But did it make a good photo? That's the question. Let's have a look. Got these lovely light trails. I am so happy with that photo. What I might try to do is a landscape one as well. Let's quickly move over to landscape mode. Actually, this might be a better landscape photo, to be honest. So we need to wait for a bus to come through the frame, which, knowing me, probably won't happen. But that is a really nice shot. If I just do a test one for you guys to show you. Because this is such a busy intersection with lots of interest going on, if we end up lucky with the traffic lights and we have lots of traffic moving through at exactly the same time, this is going to be one of my favourite photos I've ever taken of London, long exposure wise anyway. So we've got traffic coming from this way, we just need traffic coming from the other direction now. Oh, and a plane, here we go, let's see if we can get this plane in. So we've got some traffic coming around here, and there's a bus, and it's heading in the direction we want, here we go. Two buses. All right, they're heading that way instead. Man, that's loud. Look at that. I am so happy with that. And I didn't even have to walk that far. Literally, the underground station is here. Do you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna try one more photo before I leave. I'm gonna do a 30-second exposure. Don't usually do these unless I'm doing like astrophotography. So my settings are 30 seconds, f16, and then 100 ISO. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna wait until there's a lot of traffic, try and get as much movement in as possible. So here's the first car. Let's do 30 seconds on the clock. So we've got some cars going through, got a motorbike, 2 motorbikes, got some buses behind us. After a nice bright red bus. Right, so have a look and see what that photo looks like. It's not too bad, but I think we can do better. Let's try now. Oh, I've just kicked the tripod. A long exposure worst nightmare. That photo's gonna be ruined now. Oh, this would have been a sick photo as well. Of course it would have happened. Kicking the tripod, honestly, it's one of my biggest bugbears. Whenever I do long exposure, I always seem to kick the tripod at the worst possible time. Thing to camera makers, put a little clock on so I know how long the photo's got left. It didn't ruin the image. It's a little bit wobbly. It's got this bus coming through. Will I get it? Will I get it? Yes! Ah, all right. It's a bit underwhelming, I think, that photo. I think I've got better. To be honest with you, I think maybe the shutter speed's too long. Who knows? Anyway, that's enough of this location. Let's jump back on the underground and see what other stations have got to offer. Right, so third stop of the day, Mansion House. Must say I haven't been to this underground station before, so I don't actually know what to expect when I get to the top. But hopefully, it'll be something pretty good. Let's have a look around here. I'm not exactly sure where I am. Oh, blimey. I think that's St. Paul's Cathedral. Are we around there? Oh, awesome. All right, well, let's head there then. That's within 5 minutes, I think. Yeah, here we go. This is St. Paul's. Literally just here. It was obscured by those buildings. I didn't quite see it. Right, well, let's find a good photography spot around here then. Now, so far, I've done long exposure. And to be honest with you, I'm actually really liking it. It's so dark. Look at that. So actually, one of my favourite photos I photographed last year was here. But this time, I want to head a little bit further down because I've seen a few people take photos next to a black telephone box. And obviously they're traditionally red. And I see it just here. And this has got to be a really good spot. I can't believe how close we are. Literally, exited just down there. Yeah, so like a 2-3 minute walk from Mansion House on the Circle Line. Third spot, St. Paul's Cathedral. And what an epic location this is. So we've got a telephone box here. I've always wanted to photograph here. Right, I'm gonna shoot again really wide. So I'm shooting at 15mm. Now, the same settings we had previously were too dark. So I'm gonna go for 5 seconds, stick with ISO 100, but let's drop it down to F8, let's say. And the main interest is going to be the telephone box itself. Now, at F8, everything's gonna be in focus pretty much. So now we just have to wait for traffic. But let's just do a quick sample shot first to see roughly what it will look like. Oh, I'm really liking that. That is really nice. You've got the balance. They're almost the same size within the frame. You've got the main telephone box and then you've got St. Paul's Cathedral. But because we're low down, they almost look the same size within the frame. And because of the depth of field, everything's nicely in focus. So we've got this bus lorry going past. Let's see what happens when we photograph that. That's really nice. But I think we need to wait for a bus. So we've got a white old style 1960s bus here. Let's photograph it now. Traffic the other way messed up that shot, but I took two. Let's have a look at both of them. Now that is really nice. It's really interesting because the white buses cause the white lights. I'm really happy with that photo. What I might do is stick around for a little bit longer, seeing what other traffic goes past. We've got two buses coming this way, nice bit of space there before it hits the traffic lights, and we've got a bus coming this way. So this could be a perfect combination. Here we go. So traffic moving here. Wait for it to just pass my shoulder, and traffic's moving that way. This could be it. Going past, and then that bus coming through. There we go. That's the photo. That could even be the photo of the night. I am so happy with that image. Super happy. I can't believe that. Oh, there you go. There's got one more. Here we go. We've got a bus in the background here. It's moving a little bit slow, so it might not make it all the way through the frame. We've got a bus behind it moving a little bit faster. Let's do one more image. See if it makes it all the way through. Don't think it is. No. I'm gonna have to have a look. Get back to the studio and work out which one out of those, which one I prefer. But actually, oh yeah, I still think the first one. Awesome. So Mansion House was great. I didn't realise how close it was to St. Paul's, so that was brilliant. So what I'm gonna do is keep on heading westbound on the Circle Line and just see what else I bump into. Now, obviously, I'm not gonna have time to stop at every single station. Plus, some stations aren't gonna be as interesting as others. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna have a quick look at the map when we get to the station. I'm trying not to use my phone. And then we'll just see what we bump into and see what stations look more interesting than others. because I believe Westminster is on the Circle Line, and that could be our next stop. But let's have a quick look. Okay, so this is where we are right now. We're at Mansion House. We've got all these spots that we can choose. So Blackfriars and that lot are quite close. So I think Westminster is going to be our next location. So next stop, or the fourth stop on my journey so far, and we're at Westminster. Now Westminster is pretty much the heart of London, famous for obviously the big Houses of Parliament. And hopefully that is what we're going to be photographing. There it is. It's busy. We've got Big Ben. Now that is going to be our foreground for today, I think. But of course, we've also got the Thames. And just across the Thames is London Eye. So we've actually got a ton of landmarks all at one station. This is a great station to be at. So actually I'm pretty much spoilt for choice here, really. Got loads of traffic, it's really busy, so that's great, getting lots of movement in the shot. But I've got London Eye, which I think moves at night, I'm not too sure. And then obviously got Big Ben, which is lit up as well. See, I am spoilt for choice at this location. I'm gonna head slightly further down, but just in between these little bollards. Perfect, tiny little island, just enough spot for one person. So I think I might, let's go back here. Here works, I think. So you've got the side of the House of Parliament. I'm gonna start off with a landscape, and then we might jump to a portrait. I usually like being low down, but I think this particular shot aids being slightly higher than the other shots that we've done today so far. Let's just do a quick test shot. So 5 seconds, f16, ISO 200. All right, some cars going past now, and the bus, here we go. I might have to do a little bit more trial and error. I might have to take a few more photos, but that is the composition I'm going for. I think we've got the timing right. But because that person had his high beams on, you can see like the flaring just below the Big Ben, big kind of blue circle. That's lens flare, and that's caused by someone on high beams. But I'm actually really happy with that composition. It's nicely balanced. You've got Big Ben on the right, and then the light trails feeding off and about a 30-degree angle upwards. So it balances the image really nicely. What I might actually do is move a little bit over to the left. So we've got a little bit more of Parliament in. I'm shooting at about 24mm, so quite wide. I don't know what it is, but every time I come to London, it's overcast. Like every single time. The last POV I filmed in London, it was overcast for the entire day. And the one before that as well was overcast. So it would have been nice to have the moon out. That would have been pretty cool with all the stars. Not that you would have seen much with all the light pollution. I think because the bridge is like an arc and we're at the top of the arc, all the headlights are coming uphill, so I think they're blinding us. So I didn't have this problem at Tower Bridge. Here we go, here's a bus. So I need to focus just before it enters the frame. Now. So it moves throughout the frame and then hopefully comes to a stop. There we go. See, that is so underwhelming. Why is that so underwhelming? Right, maybe it needs brightening. Maybe if we change the aperture. Let's brighten this image. Let's go for f8 and bring down the ISO to ISO 100. Let's try that. That's a little bit better. Okay, this is starting to come together. We've got a double-decker tour bus coming through here. Whoa, that is way brighter than the other photo. Holy moly. Again, I'm not totally happy. It's almost there, I think. Almost there, but not quite. It's an old 1960s bus, so this could work really well. Now, it's Paddington bus, afternoon tea. Because of the speed it's travelling, that could work really well for this photo. But not time to look at it because we've got 2 more buses heading in the opposite direction. 10 seconds. Number 11. Number 148. Are they going to both make it through? Yes. Let's have a look at that photo. Holy moly. All right. That's photo 1. What about the Paddington bus one? Oh, it didn't come out as well. But yeah, I think that's the photo I was after. 10 seconds, f11, ISO 100. That I am really happy with. I think we need a little bit to edit. I think we need to edit it all. Okay, right. As I'm here, might as well try and photograph the London Eye. Now, I've been here for 10-15 minutes. Clearly, the London Eye turns off at night, which kind of makes sense, especially on a Sunday. So it's not going to spin. So I was hoping I'd be able to do a long exposure with it spinning, because it never stops. It rotates very, very slowly. So I'm not going to be able to get that. So I'm going to have to think of another option to try and integrate this long exposure stuff in. So what I might try and use is the water. So I need to get as low down as possible. So let's head over to the other side of the water over here. Right, if we head down. Actually, look at the spiral on this. Does that match up? It does. This spiral of this matches up with the spiral of the London Eye. Does that come out? Yo, alright. I'm gonna try this. Alright, so I'm gonna switch back to aperture priority for the moment, just to get a bearing of what the... That is really cool. That is really cool. So basically I'm just matching up the spiral shape with London Eye. So far Westminster has been really good. I don't want to overuse it. What I might do is I might come back in a future video, because there's just so many possibilities. So I'm just going to stick with the bridge photo that I've just taken. Okay, so now I think we should go to one more station. So let's go into Westminster Station and see what other stations we can stop off on the Circle Line. So we haven't got a lot left. We're here at Westminster now. We've got St James's Park, which is just round the corner. Victoria Station, which might be interesting. This one here, Sloane Square, I don't think I've been here before, but I think that's near Battersea Power Station. That could be close enough to photograph. That's a really cool place to photograph, so let's try Sloane Square. So we started off here, went to Monument, Mansion House, Westminster, and now we're at Sloane Square, which is quite close to Battersea Power Station, but I'm not sure if it's a 5-minute walk. So let's have a quick look. Whoa, that is pretty spectacular. Look at all those trees. This is absolutely beautiful. That's unbelievable. Look at that. Got to get a photo of that. And this would be great for portraits. But for landscape photos, I don't think it's necessarily going to come out. Let's have a quick look of where we are. So, Sloane Square. Okay, so Battersea Power Station is probably too far. But there is a spot, a bridge, somewhere around here that is really good for long exposure. But is it 5 minutes away? I think so. But we have to walk this direction. Right, we're almost at the location. The bridge is just on the other side, I think, of this building. But I don't know if this particular location is going to work. I haven't seen Battersea Power Station at all. I don't think we're anywhere near it. Like, it should be over there somewhere, but I can't see it. There's too many buildings in the way, so I've got no idea if this particular location is actually going to work or not. I don't know how people have done this. There's a brick wall here. Really tall brick wall. No way you'd be able to put a tripod over that. It's probably 10 foot tall. Okay, there's a possible gap coming up, possible road. This could be the photograph spot, is it? Oh my God, yes. Oh wow. That is an amazing spot. Yeah, so just on the edge of this roadway, you might not be able to see it on the video, but you've got Battersea Power Station, you've got all these trains lining up. This is going to be a great spot. Let's take a quick, that's an amazing spot. Absolutely amazing. But I don't think this lens is going to, I don't think this lens is right. So, yeah, it's a bit too wide. So let's swap out this lens for, I bought my 70 to 200mm. I don't know if you stand here, is this sturdy? Yeah, it's pretty sturdy. I'm gonna take a photo from here, I'm gonna swap over to my 70 to 200mm. This is gonna be a rush, can I get this train? Oh no. Oh, that leg's not done up. Oh no, I'm gonna miss it. Quickly. Oh, it's a pretty long train. Oh, Jesus. Oh, now I can't put it in there. Oh, this is a long train. Can I do it? Oh, there's another train heading in the other direction. Oh, God. Quickly. And photograph. That was a rush one, right? Did that work, though? Okay, it needs to be a longer shutters here, so 30 seconds. I'm going to step down to F18. Got two trains passing. So the idea of this shot, it's got these nice long trains. Obviously, they're all well lit up. This is going to be our foreground interest, because obviously the tracks are quite dark. And then we've got the beautiful Battersea Power Station, but it's quite nice at an angle. So none of the chimneys, I suppose you could call them, are in the way of each other. So we'll have to see if that photo actually came out. And then I'm guessing you've got some kind of station. I don't know what station would be around here, but you've got a station there as well. So this might need a little bit of experimentation, but this spot here is definitely worth a walk. It's only 5 minutes from Sloane Square. Let's see if that came out. Okay, so it's blurry, I'm guessing because of the movement. I'm guessing this is, I'm guessing this is not solid, so I might head back up there again, up here. You can see how soft it is if I go ahead and zoom in. But the foreground information looks really nice. Okay, so that is clearly a good spot. Let's head back up here again. Let's go about here. Let's try and get as close to the barrier as possible in case a car comes. Let's fold that down. There we go. I can hear a train coming. Trains are so loud you can hear them from a mile off. Okay, make it as nice and sturdy as possible. What I might also do, quick tip whenever you're doing long exposures, very long exposures, is switch your image stabilisation off, because sometimes that can cause wobble. I'm also, because I'm now shooting at 70mm, I'm also going to switch over to a 2-second timer. I do have a remote, but it's in my bag, and I don't want to take my bag off again. I might brighten it up slightly as well. Let's go for F11. Let's just do a quick test photo. So 30th of a second, F11 at 100 ISO, and I can actually hear a train coming. But is it heading in our direction? Let's crop in a little bit. There we go. There's the train. And it's roughly in the middle of the tracks as well. Let's see how this image comes out. Wow. That is an amazing photo. What would be nicer, or what would be better, I suppose, is there was more trains, but that's not something I can necessarily control. But the settings are perfect. I didn't know this lens could starburst as well as it can. I am so happy with that. So I suppose now all I need to do is now just wait and just hope there's more trains. Yeah, let's wait another 15 minutes. No, let's wait another 20 minutes and just see what happens, because this spot is definitely worth waiting for. Nice, let's quickly do another one before the other train leaves. What's nice about doing this versus doing cars is the length of the train. You've got so much longer to photograph because you've got 10, 20, even 30 seconds of opportunity to photograph it before it disappears, which is absolutely perfect. Where with buses and stuff, you know, they pass you within 5-10 seconds or even less, so you haven't got as much of a time to take the photo. So this one, I just feel a little bit more laid back now, versus the previous time where, you know, it was such a rush to get the shot. This one, I feel you've got a lot more time to really get the image. Wow, really happy with these photos. I actually think the second one is probably the best one. Is it sharp? Zoom in. Very sharp. Look at all the lights. It's quite a chaotic image, but I actually really, really like it. And there's another train coming. Let's try portrait quickly, as I'm happy with the landscape one. Okay, so I'm happy with that. Train's just about to enter the frame. How did that look? That's actually really interesting. Very different shooting that way. Okay. I think it needs to be lowered a little bit. Another issue with this tripod, I haven't mentioned it yet, is the ball head doesn't offer you a full 90 degrees, which sounds weird, but it doesn't let you rotate completely 90 degrees, which is very annoying. There's an image. There we go. So just waiting for some more trains, but this is basically all the gear that you need, really. Camera, a telephoto lens. I'm shooting on a 70mm. It doesn't have to be 70mm specifically. I would probably say looks like I'm zoomed into about 100mm, but you could probably zoom out a little bit further. I'm just finding the more I zoom in, the less clutter I've got. There's a lot of debris and kind of ugly looking stuff which isn't perfect, kind of at the bottom section here. So I'm able to crop that out by zooming in slightly. But if you had like a 35mm like we were using earlier, it might not necessarily work, just due to the distance of the subject. But portrait around 100mm works really, really nice. And then I'm just tucked away in the corner here just in case a car goes past, so I don't have to move. Because ideally you don't want to take a photo and then there's a car in the way and you ask them to wait 30 seconds. So yeah, I'm really happy with this. Let's just see if there's any more trains, but I might call it quits very soon. Here you go, here's a train. And wait for it to come into the frame. There we go. Yeah, I'm really happy with that photo, but the problem is the train was right at the bottom of the frame. Let's wait for a few more trains and let's see. Ideally, it would be awesome if I could do like a minute exposure or 2-minute exposure, but you need two things for that. An ND, which I don't have, not on me anyway, and also you'd need a remote shutter release, which I have left at home, as I wasn't thinking I was doing many long exposures, but it's turned out all I've done is long exposures, so I probably should have brought it with me. So it's the first time this has happened. A train's going into the depot or station, so it's coming at a slightly different angle, so it might light the photo a little bit different. And we've got a train just below us here as well. And then another train. Oh, that's a tiny train. It's literally just one carriage. That is really cool. The train didn't completely go through, but to be honest with you, I actually quite like that. Out of all of them, I might be able to combine some, but I am so happy with these photos. And there we have it. There are a few spots in London that are definitely worth visiting on the Circle Line. And I must say, I've quite liked this challenge. Usually I like going to specific locations, but not knowing where I'm going and just sticking to one line or one underground line has actually been really interesting. And you end up with going to spots like this, spots you wouldn't necessarily have gone to. So yeah, definitely recommend doing something like this. And if you wanted me to do another underground line in the future, make sure to go ahead and write it down in the comments below. Thank you to all of my YouTube members that are currently supporting the channel. If you want to support the channel and get some awesome perks, including free Lightroom presets, make sure to go ahead to the link in the description. I've been James for Photo Fever, and I'll catch you guys next week.